Welcome back to the channel, one and all, for the latest episode of the Good, the Bad and the Ugly at Liverpool FC podcast, brought to you by the LFC File and myself, Ben Green. Thanks very much for stopping by. As usual, if you haven't done already, please do remember to press the like button. You don't have to smash it, just press it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Press the notification bell so you know when the next episode is going to be available, usually on a Monday, but sometimes due to love and life, you never know, things get delayed. So let's get quickly into it with this week's good. And the good this week, I know what a lot of people might think this is going to be, but it's not. The good this week is going to be Liverpool selling Jarell Quansah for, as reported, between 35 and 40 million, depending on what you've read. Not that I want to see him go. But I just think this is a cracking piece of business. If you think, or if you remember, it wasn't that long ago, but Caomihin Kelleher has been sold to Brentford for 20 million, I believe it was, 22 million euros, pounds, I don't know, something around. I think it's about 18, 20 million quid, which is about 22, 23 million euros. So when you think of the influence, let's look at it that way, because I think a lot of a player's value is due to the influence. Players, if they have an influence on the game, then certainly in my eyes their value is infinitely higher. And as reported in the Athletic here, Leverkusen set to sign Jarell Quansah from Liverpool. And if you look at the influence that Kelleher had on the team last season, I've been going through a lot of the blog entries because I'm preparing the book now, and there were a few games where Kelleher really did save Liverpool's bacon, and there were one or two games where he sort of effed up, but this can happen. Alisson has had his fair share, it happens, but his influence on the team last year, due to those saves that he's made, was probably far more than Jarell Quansah. And when you think the amount that Jarell Quansah got, 35 to 40 million, I think this is a bit rich, actually. No disrespect to him, but I just think in terms of influence on the team, I don't think he's been as great as Mr. Kelleher. And I think we can all, there's a number of games where Jarell Quansah has not really performed to the level that one would expect, or certainly it seems Arne Slot would expect. That said, 35 to 40 million, bloody good, well done. And, I will go back to even the first game of last season against Ipswich. Liverpool struggled in that game, and Jarell Quansah got taken off at half time because he didn't have the best of games. And there was one game, I can't remember what it was, he was just unlucky. He scored an own goal, I think he gave a pass away. I think he might have been in the Newcastle game, I can't remember. But he had an absolute mare, and then I think he got an injury as well at the end of the match to put insult to injury. I can't remember which game it was, but there were one or two games where he's really had a nightmare. So to get 35, 40 million for him, I think is damn good business. When I think about it, there was a suggestion that either he or Harvey Elliott would be included in the deal to go to bring Fabian Wirtz to Liverpool, and it could be, when you think about it, 135 million. Maybe they've just said, you know what, let's call it 100 mil. You give us this Quansah lad, we quite like him, and then we're done. Yeah, so when you think about it, that would make sense. And maybe rather than publicise it as a swap plus cash kind of deal, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's finances or whatever, PR, I've got no idea. But for whatever reason, they've decided to go through with this a couple of weeks later, or around the time that Fabian Wirtz is putting pen to paper. So as far as I'm aware, this deal isn't done yet, but I do have a habit of releasing this podcast at around the same time that something is being announced. As at the moment, it doesn't look as if he's put pen to paper, but they are in advanced negotiations, that's the word I'm looking for. So it looks quite likely as if a deal's going to be done, because he's agreed personal terms by all accounts. So when you get to that stage, it's as good as done. So that said, well done Liverpool, good bit of business there. Let's move swiftly on to, we have a not bad this week. A not bad is, of course, Mr. Fabian Wirtz putting pen to paper to end this long-running saga. I think a lot of it has just been due to the fact that the guy's been on holiday, which he's perfectly entitled to do. I think he should have been signing and putting us out of our misery. But yes, it's good that he's put pen to paper. I've seen there's a video on All Red TV, which I'm going to check out soon. I think it's just the usual signing day stuff. So looking forward to that one. It's good news that the deal is over the line. The ink is dry on the paper, and now we can look forward to seeing what impact he's going to have on the team in the coming weeks, months and years. So yes, he's a very exciting player. I have to say he's a very good player, and I've seen him a few times, as I say, last season at Leverkusen, and he's a good one. He's a good one. He's like he's a bit like Coutinho, but I would say he runs more. He's probably got a better range of passing. He's one of these, he really does get in the box as well. And really, whether it's a tap in or he's going to square it for someone else, or he's going to, slot one into the far corner, he's a very good player. I think you might have to adjust a little bit to the physicality of the Premier League, because the intensity of the Premier League is somewhat higher, I would say, than the Bundesliga, as Bayer Leverkusen found out when they came to Liverpool, to Anfield last November. So he might have to adjust to that a little bit, but otherwise I'm very excited that he's with us. So welcome, Herr Wirtz. Herzlich willkommen, Herr Wirtz. Ich freue mich sehr, sehr, sehr. So moving swiftly on to the Smugly. And Smugly is a bit of a hidden hope, actually, because as I often say, there's not really much to comment about this time of year. It's a bit boring, actually, when there isn't really any football on the telly. But anyway, that's another topic. The Smugly this week would be how smug we are if Liverpool are able to secure the services of Marc Guehi from Crystal Palace. This, I think, would be a fantastic signing. And if we did get that over the line, I'm not a betting man. I have to say, I'm not a betting man, but I would consider putting as much as 20 quid on Liverpool retaining the title. I don't want to put the mockers on it, so maybe I won't. But, I might, I would gladly say next season, I wish I had have put on it, yeah. Because I think he is going to have a similar effect to when Van Dijk signed. Van Dijk, I think, was the final, maybe him and Alisson, between them two. But Van Dijk, he was kind of the final piece of the puzzle, and he helped to make a kind of slightly above average Liverpool team into a pretty decent Liverpool team, and I think he will do that. If you compare the quality of Marc Guehi against young Jarell Quansah, I think it will be a pretty stupid man to claim that there isn't an improvement over what we had already. So I think he would be probably, I don't know how much they're going to end up paying for him. I would say upwards of 50, 60, maybe 70 million, but it will be money well spent. And I think with him partnering Van Dijk, Konate, I don't know. Let's see. I mean, looks like he's off to Real Madrid next season anyway. or at the end of next season. But I think this will be a major signing for Liverpool. And with, Milos Kerkez coming from Bournemouth, it looks as if that's done. Mr. Frimpong as well on the right. And Marc Guehi in the middle. I think it's going to be an interesting season, put it that way, an interesting season. I think Liverpool have really done some good business this season, and this close season, and it's interesting because you're not hearing anything from the FSG Out brigade. And I've maintained all of last season that at the end of the day, FSG are the best owners for Liverpool at this point in time. And if we compare the club that they took over from those two Muppets, Hicks and Gillette, in whenever it was it 2010, 11, 12, I don't know, this sort of time, to where they are now. Look at the stadium, look at the team, look at the trophy cabinet, look at the manager we've got. And that's no disrespect to, Hodgson or any of the others, but the setup now at the club is night and day what it was a few years ago. When you think of, the likes of Rafa Benitez when they won the Champions League in 2005, let's admit that was near on a miracle with the club at that stage. Fairly well run. It's never been that badly run, but under Hicks and Gillette, I think we were that close to going to the wall. So I personally think that the FSG Out brigade are quite rightly hiding under their stone until something happens, and they will start jumping up and down and complaining. But I maintain that FSG are the best owners for Liverpool at this point in time. And if you look at, I've been saying towards the end of the season, the writing's on the wall, and I think a lot of people have known that the writing's on the wall. Andy Robertson is probably past his best, let's face it. Kostas Tsimikas, nice guy, not quite cutting it, unfortunately. He's solid at times, but not quite there. Trent was going, Connor Bradley, young lad, a little bit injury prone at this stage, and you don't really want to be putting too much on him. Kanate, I think he's a bit hit and miss, to be honest, needless to say, as well, with Jarell Quansah. The midfield, okay, recent new additions last season, but up front, now Salah has signed a new contract, but Wirtz now is going to add that little bit of spark that we've been missing. So Boslai is a good player. He does very well as well in this kind of number 10 position. But I think Wirtz is a natural there, and he's going to make all the difference. So when you look at Richard Hughes and Ward and the team there, they've done a fantastic job, because they've obviously had their eye on the players that we all knew that the club needed. And had it been the same situation as last season, yes, all right, people could be saying FSG out and whatnot, but it's like Arne Slot said, he wanted to see what the team are going to do this season, and he's been borne out. We've got number 20 in the trophy cabinet. Yeah, so I think if Liverpool can get Guehi over the line, I think the FSG brigade should get well and truly, in the bottom drawer, firmly shut, locked, and just left them there, basically. More of the same, thank you very much. So let's see how we get on. And that's it. Just a final thing, looking at the fixture list, as we know this came out. The 4 that have come up are Arsenal, Liverpool. I've got 30th of August there, day before my birthday, don't wish it yet. And Liverpool, Everton, that's on the 20th of September. And Liverpool Man U, that's on the 18th of October. And Liverpool will travel to Man City on the 8th of November. So actually, I think the fixture list is quite kind to Liverpool, actually. When I look down, so there's Burnley, 13th September, Everton, as I just said, on the 20th there. What else we got? Chelsea away, 4th of October. Could be tricky. Probably will be tricky. So yes, I think it's going to be an interesting one there, actually. Yeah, you can see them flicking up there now. Liverpool, Man U, 18th of October. Yeah, Brentford away. Yeah, it's not super duper tough, that one, to be honest, with all due respect. 1st of November, hosting Villa. Nottingham Forest away, November. They blotted our copybook last season, so let's see if we can turn them over this time. West Ham, end of November. Yeah, I think it's. I think the fixture list could be harder, actually. So I'm happy with that. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks very much for stopping by as usual. Like, subscribe, press the notification bell. Let me know your comments, especially with regards to FSG. Marc Guehi, do you think he's a good signing, or do you think he's a pile of pants? What you think of the fixture list? Let me know what you think. And yes, looking forward to that. Still working on the book at the moment. Should be out in the next couple of weeks. The artwork is done and all that. It's just about crossing the T's and dotting the proverbial I's until that's done. So, again, thanks for stopping by. Hugely appreciated. Look after yourselves and one another. And I'll be posting some updates during the week if anything half interesting happens. So, take care. Enjoy the sunshine. And until then, peace. Your LFC file.